Hey guys, I'm back in NYC and 3 weeks of interesting stuff. I know on some of my Facebook Lives you guys have seen what I've been talking about and everything. And I really want to talk about the trip because I don't know how to talk about the trip. But most of it is written down in this book. It's basically my whole journey leading up to when I had to try to convince my job to let me go, try to convince family, everything. Just basically a journey of my trip to someplace taking a leap of faith. And I've been talking about it with you guys. I don't know how many of you out there know the whole situation with everything. You don't know what's really going on. Like, only a select few know the ins and outs of both about me and Christopher, as well as people see what I say on the outside, but sometimes he doesn't speak about what he wants, what he's feeling. And basically, everyone told me if I take this leap of faith to write about it. Now, throughout all of this, there have been some haters and some people who think they know everything and some people who think that it's fun to belittle somebody and treat anyone because of different standards and different things. Okay, fine and great. I've had my haters, I had everything, but the trip I would not trade for anything. I finally stopped crying because I do miss being there. I know it's strange, I'm only back a day and I miss being there, but most of you know from my vlogs and everything about what my life has been like. And I really, really want to show you some stuff and everything. So this is going to be actually a very interesting thing because right now I might shoot some raw footage and see if I can actually edit it and then put this on YouTube, because there's a lot of live video that I took too while I was there and some other stuff that I don't know if the computer will actually upload or try, or just because I'm trying my best because of all the changes with Windows 10. Because I've got some cute things of us walking through the forest. I've got things. I may just make those a different vlog and show you the adventures, but I wanted it with this to talk about what was happening. But first and foremost, basically, I'm at a crossroad right now, and so is he. We got hit with so many whammies while we were there, plus other things that I will let him mention to you, or unless you've read that I've mentioned, or if you personally have talked to me, know what I've mentioned. But as you know, this was a trip that was spur of the moment in the sense of his friends decided to get married and they proposed to each other. They had come to visit in New York, right? So they were getting to know me as well as anything because I didn't want to miss that opportunity either. They invited me to the wedding, so I knew I was going to their wedding, but I didn't know if it would be June, July, August. They weren't sure either. So I was estimating August because most people do an August wedding, or if you want cheaper or anything, right? But that's their wedding, right? So I figured if they did it in August, I could go for his birthday, for Chris's birthday, and all the other things, right? And there's a lot more stuff going on. Plus, with the job, they wouldn't bite my head off every 5 seconds. So when it turned out it was in June, the ticket was bought. I told my boss I have the tickets, everything. It's already been paid for. And she was okay with it and everything. Then the chaos started happening. Conveniently, my job wasn't up to par. Conveniently, I was screwing up. Conveniently, that I was interrupting the full-timers things, that one of our associates had to go out for treatments and stuff like that. Like, it was just like, okay, I'm a per diem. I got 3 weeks because my schedule is only 3 days a week, and I balanced it out where I only lost 2 weeks worth of pay, which is $500, which I made up by selling some toys, and I'm going to be selling more now too. And I didn't go below what I needed so that everything was fine. And basically just trying to, after 10 years of being there with no vacations and maybe 2 days to do Comic-Con or anything, I needed a break. I really did. Plus, it's been 3 years with Christopher, on and off, and I wanted to know what it was like on his side of the pond. I wanted to know, since he couldn't come here because we don't know what's going on officially. My embassy says he's allowed to come here. The British embassy says no, he's not allowed. The consulates don't know what they're talking about. And I've been getting tweets all since last night. So, also I wanted to clear up another thing. A lot of you think I'm upset over Christopher, or I'm upset about things and stuff like that. I'm upset because I've gotten to be me, in the sense of those of you who are my true friends and everybody see a different side of me when I'm not at work or when I go to Comic-Con, and you guys accept me for who I am. A loving, caring person who has had the past just rip her apart. Plain and simple. So, this was a leap of faith to find out if someone finally cared about me, loved me, wanted me in their life. But it also was to see if I like being over there. Because all my life I felt like an outcast here in New York. Outcast in my family, outcast with everything, right? So, it was just a little odd to find out that when I get off a plane and touch on ground that I feel at home. And I don't know how to describe it to people that, okay, you know when you feel like you're out of place or out of sync with something? That's what I feel like here in New York. I don't fit in with anybody. I fit in with a select few, but it never feels like I'm home. It never feels like my feet are touching my home. It just feels odd, out of place, like I'm an alien, right? The minute that I had touched down from that plane, and I'll explain the plane ride because that was just interesting to begin with, because I'm going to go into details on the trip. So this might be a very long video, or it might be a two-parter, or it might be, I don't know what I'm going to do. But this is just the initial introduction, okay? So it's almost basically, how do I put this? It was just basically a trip of where to see what was coming for my destiny, or to figure out everything. Now, Christopher may hate me because I'm doing this vlog. He may understand because I need to vent. A lot of people don't know what it's like between us. And there's another key factor that I'm not mentioning because that's his personal. And there's also other things. But I will point on things that he did while he was there, but there were reasons for why he did them. And I want to clear up again that I was not crying because of him. He's done this to me before, where he's made a decision beforehand and regretted it, or just plain out just destroyed me. So that's not why I'm upset. I was upset because I finally felt like I was home. I finally felt like I fit in somewhere. That I didn't, the funny thing is, no one thought I was a tourist while I was over there. That's the funniest part. If I didn't open my mouth, everyone thought I was from either Cardiff or possibly like somewhere over there. It was like I felt comfortable. I knew where everything was. I just had been like following his lead, and yet also his cues, because it was another thing. All right. But it felt like I finally belonged somewhere. Now, I don't know, because I've gone to Boston. I have gone to Florida. I've been to Jersey. I've been all over. And for some reason, I don't feel like this when I leave there. Like I was sad that I left Boston for Anime Boston. I mean, there were things, right? This feels more like I left my home, and I don't understand it. And sometimes, like his mom had said to me, it could be muscle memory, it could be anything, that maybe you're more meant to, when you feel like you're home, that's where you're supposed to be. And that's where everybody's misinterpreting the thing about me and Christopher. Because my dad said it best to me, and I put it on Facebook, and I'll read you guys those two because it gets you an idea of what's going on. Everyone keeps telling me put myself first now, because I've always put everybody else first through my whole life. Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to do that, but when you don't have the backing of others, or everyone that does back you, seems to me, and I can't find my keyboard because the thing just sort of tapped off. Hold on, let me see if I can get, there we go. Because as you can see, my face cleared up, everything, and trust me, we didn't do much of anything. It's just the food out there is even different. That my allergies didn't kick in as much. I mean, it was just to the point where I really didn't want to come home, not because of what was going on with me and Christopher, but the fact that I felt more relaxed, more calm, more like it was my home. Then I come here and I feel like an outcast, out of place again. So, here's what happened. All right. So now, as you know, we're up to the day when I leave, right? And the same thing is going on. Everyone at work is trying to ask questions, do this, right? I mean, I just wanted to get out of work and get home because I had to catch a 10 o'clock flight. Turns out My flight was delayed so severely that they had to squeeze me onto the earlier flight. They were trying to get me an even earlier flight, but that one had already taken off because we arrived very early at the airport, like we're supposed to, 3 hours ahead. The problem was, putting me on this flight, I would just narrowly miss trying to get through everything the earlier Newcastle flight. That would have got me in earlier. Now, this is where it gets crazy and why you never should work the day of going on a trip, especially if it's a red eye. Okay. I was fine on the airline. The British Airways, oh my god, they are adorable, the British Airways airline. I love them, right? And it's just wonderful. You get a blanket, you get a pillow, you get, right? Okay. They're very helpful when you're handicapped. Now, here's the thing. As you know, I have fibromyalgia, coastal chondritis, I have the intradermal lump in the knee, so my walking is still not stable yet. I'm getting better, but I think I'm going to be with a cane the rest of my life. But I'll be stronger, it's just that it's there for when it acts up. So, they ask you, do you have any handicap needs? Yes, I have a slight hearing problem, as well as the gait and everything on my walking. So, out of liability risk, they put me in a wheelchair. And I went in the wheelchair, and trust me, you guys, I still have to go to the same security clearance as everybody else. It's just that this time they were a little more patient, and they don't want to, like, basically, right? So I had a good time. I got to my flight, and then I get on my flight. Everything's okay. I get this weird seat where I'm squished in, but you know what? It's worth it. It was 7 hours, well, 6 hours. I met 2 nice guys that run a French restaurant in London. I got to talking with some people, really nice and everything. Then it starts setting in the sleep thing. And by the time I fell asleep, it was already time to get off the plane. And I'm trying not to sneeze because this is what the difference is. I'm going to tell you why. So, I land in London Heathrow, and because I couldn't get the 9:20 flight up to Newcastle, I was stuck from 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, they could have squeezed me in really fast, but they couldn't do it. 9 o'clock in the morning until 1:30, trying to stay awake the next day because of the 5-hour time change. Now, the problem with me was that I wanted to stay awake because I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how it works or anything. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt nauseous. I felt whatever, right? Plane was okay. I just wanted to sleep, but I couldn't sleep because they kept moving me around with the wheelchair to different places. So finally, we get to where the Newcastle flight is, and someone drops a very expensive bottle of perfume because where the place you get the board is near all the shops and everything. So the smell of that and everything, I almost threw up. Okay? But they got me on the plane. I got my little seat, and I just zoned out. I fell asleep. I had the window seat. I thought I could see everything, take some pictures. No, I fell asleep. So the plane was about an hour and a half ride, not even. I got at least an hour's sleep. I meet this really cool guy that was helping with the wheelchair. He was so sweet. He has friends in New York. I think they're in Long Island City. He is so nice and everything, right? We were talking about the Legend of Traveling TARDIS. We were all that, right? And he told me, by the way, your boyfriend and his mom might be behind that door. I said, wait a minute. We're getting our bags. We were getting the bags, right? And I said, that door? Right there? My heart just completely dropped. Almost like I get to see him for the first time in person. And I get to hug his mom, right? So, sorry guys. That was just, think about it. When you meet somebody, even if it's online or in person, and you hadn't seen them for a while, or you want to get to know, you just want, because they've done something so good in your life, well, you just want to hug them, right? I think it might have freaked them out that I was in the wheelchair because they wouldn't let me out of the wheelchair until we were clear of the baggage area because I didn't like the way his face looked when he saw me in it. And I didn't want to scare him with it, but it was for liability reasons. So basically, I got my hug. He takes a crazy picture of me, which I'm like, could you take a better picture? I'm a mess because I couldn't have this, and I had to take it out because when you try to put your head back on the plane. Basically, we're trying to load my bags into his dad's car because his dad is a Royal Shakespearean thespian actor. And he was down in Stratford I think it's Stratford. I get the names mixed up because of how it is, right? And we were going to head down 2 days from when I got there. Me and Christopher. His mom was already going down the next day. Right? So, the funny thing is, his mom said his dad should have just flown me and kept me in London, and it would have been easier because London near Stratford and all that other stuff, and then we could just. But it was a long story with that one. That's another story. So, ooh, it just felt like someone pushed my chair. I just got really weird. Oh, I'm hoping it's not a time change. Yeah, you guys, if you know how I am, I'm an empath and psychic ability and stuff. This just felt like I got a whoosh over me, like I just got like jolted into a different timeline. All right, but we'll figure that out later because that's another thing because that ties into something else. Okay, so we get back to the house, and it's a cute little house. It's a cottage. It's so adorable and everything. If you guys have seen my Facebook page with the pictures, and I'm looking at 16 minutes now, and I'm already just at getting to the house. Okay, we finally get my stuff in. We bring it upstairs. I'm in the little room in the middle. His room is diagonal of mine, and then there's another room where they put my luggage, which is all on his side. His parents' room, and then the bathroom upstairs. Okay, so he's nervous. It's so cute. He's so nervous, but I don't know if he knew what to make of me being there, or it was just more of a shock I was there because we didn't even think I was going to be there. Because in a couple of days after the Royal Shakespearean play of Midsummer's Night's Dream, we had to. I have my ticket somewhere around here too. I should find that to show you guys though it's proof. But let me find it. Let's see. There is my ticket. Do I have it? That's that. I know I put it somewhere safe. It might be is it in here? Because I have something else I did. Where is it? I know I put it safe. That's that. Wow, where is it? Should be in this one. I don't know. Really? It should be in here. But I was packing all the stuff up just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Coaster's in here. Everything else is in here. Maybe it's in another one. Maybe I put it somewhere else. And one of the things I haven't gone through yet. And that fell out. Alright, let's see. I'll fix this later. Okay, I will fix this. I know I'm off camera too much. Alright. Yeah, not good. I'm off camera too much. I might use that for something else. But, yeah. So, basically, this damn ponytail. We got our tickets, and his mom left the next day to go down because her mom and her sister were already down there. We were going to get a cab day after to meet up with his sister and his brother-in-law. So, we just tried talking. We tried everything, and it just, it wasn't awkward. It was just that it's just, you know, when those first, like, if you meet somebody for the first time, nerves, like, everything for the last 3 years just went out the window. And it was like, she's here, he's here. Like, it was one of those. But basically, I really hate allergy season. I was in my room, he was in his room. Okay. So, with everything, we get the cab and we go, right? And I got to try Burger King there, and it's way different than ours. It is. So they have vegetarian stuff on their Burger King. I've not seen a vegetarian stuff on, unless you call it a salad, okay? Their nuggets are actually shaped like nuggets and everything. I'm sorry, my nose is running. And it basically, God, I can't even, these are like going to be 20, these are 20, oh my God, it's like getting into 20 minutes. This is just the first couple of days because of everything. So we're waiting for his sister and his brother. His brother comes up, sneaks behind him, and it is so funny, right? And his sister gave me the most prettiest pair of earrings. Did I put them up here or on the other side? I know I put them, here they are. And we took the ride down to go to the Shakespearean play. And let's see. Here they are. Oop! Don't lose that. Don't lose that. Don't lose that. That's important. Okay. I'll show you one of them since they're very fragile. But that's them. Pretty cool. It's like a teardrop. So I really like this scenario, right? So when my ears get better, I can put these in. So, oh my god, Midsummer's Night Dream was so much fun. I've got pictures of that, except the play. You couldn't take pictures in the play. Some people snuck. But his dad was really good in the play, and everybody was a blast. There were some Doctor Who actors in there. There was, right? But it was we got to see it at the Royal Shakespeare Company. He's with the Royal Shakespeare. It was like, I said, oh my god, I get to see a royal, like Shakespeare is my forte. I love Shakespeare, right? So we had that. We had everything else. We stayed the night in the bed and breakfast. He had his bed. I had my bed. Like, basically, it's just one of those, right? Because it was only the first couple of days. You knew nothing was going to happen. It was mostly just trying to get to know each other. But yet he still had his distance, and I knew something was up because he had said to me that, thank you for giving me the choice to make a decision, but in the end you'll like the answer anyway. And I'm like, you already made your decision. I'm like, I just got here. How did you make a decision before I even got there? So I just played it off and let it be. Then we got back, hung out with his dad. His dad is so cool and knows how to cook. I mean, he made a roasted chicken dinner that I gobbled, and I was like, I'm done. I'm like, I want seconds. I wanted, the chicken wasn't pink. It wasn't like the way my sister cooks. It doesn't like my grandmother cooked. It was cooked. And the gravy, it's something they sell out there. It is, I wish I could have brought it home. I should have grabbed a bottle of it, but I'll have them probably send it to me. We had a few things. We went to Durham. We went to Cardiff. We went to Newcastle. I'm trying to remember all the places we went because this is what happened. Due to something happening to his dad prior, his dad had to be put into the hospital. Now, that meant all the plans his dad made with him for me and him to go do things, meaning Christopher and me, had gotten skewed. So a lot of the stuff we were supposed to do got changed because his dad was in it's serious condition in the sense it's not heart, not anything like that. It's just right now he's going to need time to recover for his leg. That's all I'm going to say. So everything got switched up. His mom needed to grade papers, all this other stuff. So it was basically, it took a toll on Christopher. It really did. And he won't admit it, but it took a toll on him because his dad's in the hospital. He's worried. And we had just did the wedding. We had just started. It was just to the point where it got to where we had a big blowout. Like, basically, because he had already made a decision about me before he even got to know me. And I didn't want to have him guilted into, because all I wanted to do was stay in a bed with him, just cuddle or whatever. I know he's nervous. I knew he was nervous. I didn't want to push because it's not his house. It's his parents' house, out of respect for them. But I didn't also want to be pushed away before I even was gotten to know him personally, like physically. He knows me for the 3 years, but this was now a way to get physical intimacy, all that stuff. But he just kept pushing me away and didn't even realize he was doing it. And it is stressful because he loves his dad, he loves his mom, and there's other factors that factor into it. His past is really, if I get a hold of his past, I really want to strangle this person, in the sense of we let him be him, in the sense of tell him it's okay to love somebody, that it is okay. But he's just that's why I said if Christopher gets mad at me at this, it's because I'm just venting right now. It's my perception of what happened out there and how I see how he perceived to me. Plus, there's other contributing factors which are personal that I am not going to put on here. So, we had a big blowout, and now I'm in my room. Now, this is the thing about my room. From the night I got there, it's been haunted. I swear on gods and goddesses, I swear that I had enough with that room. It was almost like it was chasing me into his room, but he didn't want me in his room. Yeah, okay? This is how I had to deal with this room. I get in there, I'm fine. They don't have a nightlight because I can't sleep in the dark. So they use a lava lamp. I just finally, my head hit the pillow, and something's crawling on the bed. I thought it was the cat. There's no cat. Then I woke up and I see legs. And there's nobody in the room. Then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to sleep. It's my imagination. It's me because of all the years of stress that I had to deal with people. At any rate, right? Then the next night. Same thing. I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this, right? But I put up with it. Finally, there, ooh, I don't know if it was before or after the fight, because during the fight, I went into that bedroom and it felt like someone put their hand on my shoulder and I stopped crying. I think it might have been around that when, now you know a room is haunted when the bed is on the wall. And I weigh, I'm not going to say how much I weigh, but I'm heavy, okay? But I'm not heavy, right? And the bed is heavy. It's not like one of those put together beds, but it's a heavy bed and there's stuff underneath. So there's no way, unless you're like really bouncing on this bed should move, right? Yeah, the bed pulled from the wall, like someone took it, and because I'm all this time thinking he's playing a prank on me. Every time I'm thinking that, yeah, it's not haunted, he's playing a prank on me, right? And he runs back to his room because that's how close his room was to it, right? This one was, now, there's no way this could have done it because the way that the bed is designed, you would have to pull this way because the bars go this way. There's no bars this way or anything, right? My bed was pulled off the wall and rammed back with me in it. And then it was like constant little things popping in. I was like, I grabbed, because he gave me Bayamax, and I grabbed Bayamax in my pillow, knocked on his door. I said, please let me in here. And I'm like, you could see I'm in shock that the bed pulled from the wall and back. Like, I deal with ghosts, I deal with everything, but this was, the bed moved. It pulled back. I was like, I'm not going to sleep in there. Either I sleep in his room or he puts me downstairs on the couch, and I'm crying, don't leave, because I am freaking out. I should have screamed, but I was in shock. His mother comes down, finds me down there, thought we had a fight, and I told her, she was like, are you friggin' kidding? I said, that room was haunted, because his sister tells us on the trip prior that there's a dancing girl that comes there that she likes coming to visit. Those must have been the legs. But to have, right? I didn't want to sleep in there the next night. He actually had to stay in there with me and till I fell asleep. But it wasn't staying in there like cuddling staying. It was just like, okay, now you go to bed, blah, 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 I'm going to my room. Okay. Trust me, guys, I tried every time. We did kiss, we did whatever, but he just kept sitting in his chair, watching his podcast. He would watch Brad and Nash. Yes, guys, I know you guys love me to death and everything, like especially you, Brad. But that's all he did was watch your podcast, like the Cinema Snob stuff and Nash's stuff. All right, in his chair, while I kept saying, "Well, if we're gonna watch it, come sit with me," and he wouldn't sit with me. I think it was more of the stress of his dad in the hospital, the fact that he has messed up he says he messed up relationships before. I don't think so. I think he just didn't have enough experience, plus what other stuff I found out contributed all, and having the trip change up and just be one of those where it's like, yeah, I need a do-over big time. So when we had our fight, he had contacted one of my friends, and I got really pissed at that because I only need time to calm down and I will talk to you. Because I have been played so much, I did not want to be played again, and I had given someone else a choice to choose me or choose something, right? And the person had chose me, but I gave back that choice because there was another factor in that. I was hoping Christopher would do the same thing. But at the same time, we didn't get much time because of the contributing factors to everything. Plus, it's his parents' house, and I was not going to overstep my bounds out of respect for them. Because when Christopher was by himself with me, he was more open and friendly. He was more holding my hand, being the boyfriend that I want him to be. Around his family, it was almost like he needed permission to actually be near me. And I can understand that. Parents can be intimidating sometimes when you want to be intimate or anything, but just don't fear it, you know? But this is my interpretation of it. So, we tried, we had fun. I got to see Raby Castle, I got to see all this stuff. And guys, there was a place called Molly's in Lancaster. You gotta go there to eat. It's really nice. The wait staff is so funny. I love them. All right, there should be a picture in my Legend of Traveling TARDIS. A lot of places. We got to hear the cast of High School Musical rehearse. They're at the Grand whatever in Lancaster, but they were the British cast doing High School Musical, the musical. And all the other, we got to hear that. We got to do a lot of things. I mean, I would not trade it Cardiff with the Doctor Who experience. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't trade off. But like I said, this is just like a gist one. Like, I could go into more details. I know it's 30 minutes now. I don't know if I'm allowed to have 30 minutes on YouTube if they can cut it, because I really don't want to edit this and stuff. But basically, we had another fight the 2 days before I had to leave. His mom had gone out to a party, and I thought maybe this time we could try doing some stuff, or just cuddle, do what boyfriend and girlfriend is supposed to do. He felt obligated, and we sat there, and I didn't mean to yell at him. I really didn't, but it was just like, come on. He tells me he wanted it to feel physical, but if you're not really doing what a boyfriend does, is sit with your girlfriend on the couch, make out with her a lot, or do things like at the wedding I was called the girlfriend, but when he introduced me to other people, I was the visitor from New York, or some company that came up, or a friend. And I didn't know if he was struggling with the decision, or because we are in sort of a relationship. We still are. It's just that we didn't get to talk. We mostly yelled because it was the first time we were in person that I could actually just tell him, stop it. That I care about him. That I'm not like the other girls. I'm not going to abandon him. I'm not going to push him into things that he doesn't want. If I knew it was just friends, I could tell him right then and there it was just friends, but I feel more. And as being an empath, that's the curse I have, that I know when people are lying to me to save their own, or they just don't understand their feelings. Because he doesn't understand how he's comfortable with me, but he doesn't need me. Like, he wants a need for me. He wants romance. And I'm trying to explain that romance, it basically is an adjective or a description of things that lead up to the physical, the spiritual, the mental, of being in a next step of a relationship. You don't lose your best friend. You don't lose your friend. You gain more. You gain someone that's going to be by your side while you travel, while you write, who will share your interests, who's not going to, yeah, there's going to be fights and everything, but not, you know what I mean? It's not what you see on TV where it's like, let's screw in the beds, let's do, right? No, it's about being friends. It's about being partners. It's about being, like Phineas and Ferb one did, like, if you love someone, you meet them halfway. You don't say you want something physical when you don't act physical towards it. You want romantic when romance is not what you think it means in the terms, and you're saying you don't need, but what do you mean by need? Do you need me to survive with you? Do you need me to live? Do you need me to take care of you because that you can take care of yourself now? I mean, there's so many things, and I just let him have it, even about my past and everything, and I might have killed him and killed it, but he stayed in his room the whole day before I had to leave, meaning I had to leave at 3 a.m, which means I had to try to pack all this and by myself with his mom trying to help me. That's another with the plane, right? Still stay in that haunted room. God, that room was haunted. I swear, that room is haunted. But trying to actually make sense of why he pushed me away before he even got to know me, and made a decision before he got to know me. I kept asking, was there another girl? Did he want more experiences? Because I'm not a hater, jealous, envious type of person. If you're wanting something with me but can't understand why you can't have it with me, or you're scared, tell me you're scared and we'll work things out. But if you're going to push me away every time we get close because you're afraid, even though, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I know he's going to kill me for this. But when it was his, like, when he wanted to kiss me in the sense of, said, let me try something, or, right? I could feel how much love and compassion and passion was behind his kisses. I could feel that he wanted more out of things. But then when he really got into it, he just froze. And I spoke to one of my friends about it because they got a perspective on it, because everyone thinks that I'm very upset about this in my videos, my live ones on Facebook. Just to reiterate, I was more upset about leaving a place where I felt like I was home, because Christopher does this to me all the time. He gets to a point and then he just disappears on me. He runs. He hides in his room. I mean, I found out things that shocked me and impressed me about him. That, yeah, I did find the right one. I do have a long life friend in him, as his dad says. But it's trying to prove to him that I'm actually can be more than just best friend. I can be more than anything to him. That he just has to open his heart more and let his brain stop telling him what to do. Because that's what I could see the conflict was, trying to process how he does want me, does want a physical thing, does want, but couldn't have it. And I'm like, well, you had your father in the hospital. Everything got switched up. There might be another thing, all this. And I just regret that he stayed in his room that last day. Because, yeah, you're pissed at me. You're mad at me because I pointed out, because that's the thing. I don't baby him like everybody else does. I am blunt. I am honest. I will tell you like it is. And I think that's why he also likes me too. But as of now, basically, we're still discussing, sort of, because even though I'm going to give him time to see if he misses me. Because think about it. There's Skype. He's going to see me no matter what. But this is where now I'm not physically there. Because this morning I woke up and I forgot I was home for a minute. And I was hoping to, like, get up and knock on his door. And I realized I'm home. I can't knock on his door and get a hug from him like I did in the mornings and stuff. So that's where I'm upset, because the compassion he has for me, the love that he has for me, I wouldn't trade anything. But the conflict he has for me, the uneasiness that he has to struggle through and decide on, is what is the make or break of this. Because I did state this to everybody, and everybody knows this. I'm tired of fixing people so that someone else can have them. I wanted to help him grow and learn and get better so that I finally can have someone that wants me and wants me for me. And help them better themselves and change for their own reasons. Because a lot of people don't realize sometimes when you change your life to make it easier for somebody else, or I don't even know if I'm saying it right, to like improve yourself, to look better in someone's eyes, to make them want you more, that's saying you wanted somebody, you want to be better, you want to be at their level, you want to, when you know, like that song, like Finding Yourself, when you meet the one you want and you've been waiting for, they're everything and more. And then you look at yourself and you start to change. And that's where his parents kept saying, he started changing the minute he met me. And that was the best compliment I ever got. But then I've heard those compliments before when people did change when they met me and went on to other people and left me behind. So that's what I'm afraid of, because I don't want to be left behind in anything. But I do have a home there. His parents love me. His dad said he wants to Skype with me when he gets out of the hospital or talk about it. They need time to recover, so he wants to spend time with him and his mom and Christopher to recuperate while he gets better. And that's going to be about 3 months, he said. So I didn't want Christopher thinking that I was MIA. But I think the three of them need to sit down and really talk about things, and that's perfect for everything. But his dad said I'm owed a trip, that he may fly me in next year, which is okay, but we don't know what's going to happen in 1 year. I will put money aside just to be safe. But if I have to use it for an emergency, I have to use it for an emergency. But right now, I'm okay with things. I do not regret taking this leap of faith because he did come out of his room to see me off. Yes, there were a few tears, but it didn't feel like a final off, where in the sense of like he would miss me. I think he was still upset with me because of what happened the day before, and because when I called to say I was home, it was almost like he didn't want to pick up the phone like he used to pick it up after 1 or 2 rings, and it was like, what do you want? That type of, and he says, maybe like you said, it'll hit me like a ton of bricks that I miss you, but how can I miss you if you're, I said, I just wanted to tell you I was home, tell your mother thank you, your dad thank you, and everything. He didn't tell his mother, because I called back 10 minutes later, I found his mother's cell phone just to let her know I was okay, and told her what happened and everything, and she's like, well, it is up to him, but once he gets a thought in his head, he has a thought. But it was not, and they both of them said it was not fair to me. At the same time, it was not fair to him, the situations at hand. We didn't have the proper way to fix it because we didn't have enough time. But my plane ride, I don't know, was my karma or anything, because my flight had got canceled, and then the earlier flight ended up leaving the same time as my other flight because there was a fuel damage problem on the sensor. So yeah, I mean, I had a lady sneezing and coughing next to me. I had a really nice lady on the plane tell me that give him space, give him time, because she saw me crying. And I said, well, I'm not crying over him. I'm crying because I didn't want to leave there. But she says, oh, tell me about him anyway. She goes, sweetie, he does care about you. From what you're telling me, you're a good person. He's stupid to let you go if he makes that decision. But I can see that you know how to move on if anything happens. And understand that you did want to stay there because you liked what was around there. Because it really did. I did not want to, I mean, I got to see things and do things that I thought I'd never get to do. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. And relationships, there are fights. There are things that are going to cause. But the way we fight, we talk the next day, like 2 seconds later. But I think because we did 2 fights within 2 weeks of, not even a week of each other, I think that it overloaded him in the sense of, his mom said he was staying in his room. She says every time we fought, and I did, not that he broke it off with me as friends or whatever, he would always stay in his room and never come out until it got done again. Especially when his grandfather had passed, and I knew his grandfather had passed, because there were other things, including factors that I've proven to his mom and other people that there's something there with me and him, because I was in the kitchen. He's upstairs sleeping, and his mom's in the other room. I almost broke one of her plates. I dropped it because I ran upstairs. She's like, what the hell's going on? But I think it was right after our fight. That's why I didn't open the door to check on him. But I was almost like, no, I can't invade his privacy. It turned out that I thought he was in pain. It was more he wasn't feeling good. He was like, had an upset stomach. But she's like, how the hell did you know he was in pain or anything and he wasn't feeling good? I said, I just sense it. And then every time now, the way her office is and then his bedroom upstairs, because of what happened on that day, we were trying to do the plane tickets and everything. She's like, seeing me go from not crying to whatever. And she's like, it was just weird because if I moved a certain way, that's where his head was on the bed. That's where it was, like where his bed is. And she goes, I just proved that I was an empath. And I could tell he was upset. He was. Because I really did let him have it. Because I said, am I a joke that you flew in? Or did you want something out of this? Or was I there just for whatever? Were you ready? Were you not ready for this? We just didn't have the proper way to communicate because he was sitting in the chair. His dad's in the hospital. I know his mom's stressed out, he was stressed out. So yeah, I got the raw end of the deal in that. But he just couldn't, he can only express when he wanted to express. And like I said, Christopher, if you hate me for talking like this about this on YouTube, it's just my perception of how I perceived everything went. We had our fun, we had everything. I mean, he was a different person when we weren't around anybody. And I don't know if it was whatever, but I just didn't want him being guilted into things because either he did something that he should have just said, okay, it's our day, meaning put me first, because he really some days didn't put me first if he wanted me to be his girlfriend. And if he did, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, I'm so used to him changing his mind, it doesn't bother me. It's just that it's this time there's so many people, so many of his friends, so many of everyone that said they'll be disappointed in him if he fucks this up or messes it up. And it's not that he's messing it up. It's the fact I wish I had more time with him. Not 3 weeks. I wish I had the 3 months that he was supposed to be here. Because that's a more stronger where towards the end he started getting more attached to me. He started, I mean, you want to know how goofy it is? He started getting attached. Even though I had to, I mean, come on. How many people do this? You know? There's so much stuff he could have showed me more, but that's the thing. I work in a job where I can't really get out. I was almost fired for going. A place where I feel like I'm home and I would love to live and work because it's not that it's different. It's that I don't have outside influence dictating what I need to do. No one controlling me. And I always told him, I said, if I'm chosen, if you want me as part of your family or life or anything, or even as a friend, I'm always there. It's just that it frustrates me when he can't say what he means. And then tells me that it's because I'm not agreeing with it. Yeah, I'm not going to agree with it because, one, hello, empath who can tell us people are lying what they're feeling. The feeling I got off of him was confusion, wanting to say something at the same time could feel compassion and love. You feel that with friendship too. But the more confusion because he couldn't, every time he would say physical, you had to be around me more, not sit in a chair, not whatever. And I know I'm repeating myself because I know he doesn't want to hear it. But if you guys want to like take it any way you want, I don't know if this will damage or hurt what we have already, or inhibit his decision or whatever. But as of now, I'm welcomed back by his dad. I'm gonna let him miss me in the sense of if he wants to call me on Skype, he can call me on Skype. If he wants to call the phone, the cell phone, everything's fixed on that. I basically want him to know that it's okay if he's scared. Heck, my friend says that's what it is. It's like when you first meet somebody on a date. You're scared. And you have a couple of times that you can go out. But we were rushed. We had not even 3 weeks. And the most we were doing was going to plays and all the other. We weren't intimate. We weren't alone. We weren't. The opportunities we had to be alone, it was only like one night or like 20 minutes or like whatever. So you can't get physical or you can't feel physical in that amount of time. If he comes here when he's with me, by just us, maybe that'll work. Who knows? But that's up to how his dad can get everything fixed because, yeah, he has a second family in Florida, but you can see them anytime or they can come see you. It's my turn. Put me first. If I am going to be your girlfriend or am your girlfriend or whatever you want me to be, could you put me first for once? Don't be afraid if I put things on your page. Don't be afraid of other people. Forget the past. Those people were mean to you. Those girls or whatever, if they wanted you, which I'm thinking to myself, they would have hopped the plane again to come back. Yeah, he's happy that one of the girls met somebody. But there's this other girl who basically lied to him about how I spoke to her. And there's other girls. But don't pine for someone like that. And I understand he thinks that I was pining for him because he doesn't see that it going the way it is. But don't, you keep contradicting what you wanted. So as of now, I'm home. I'm okay. I am doing what I want. I will elaborate on the trip more. This was just the preliminary because I want to do some editing with some pictures so that you guys see where I was, but I don't have a good editing system on here anymore. And not realizing I spoke for almost about an hour because the reason I'm also dressed is because I have to go get an air conditioner because I went from dealing with 60, 50-degree weather in Newcastle, and guys, you gotta go to Newcastle and Durham and Copley. Forget London, forget the lower part. Go up there, it's fun. It's gonna be 90 degrees, and I don't want wherever the cat is. I don't want a dead cat. I don't know where he is. He's around here somewhere. He might be in the tub trying to get cool because it is hot in here. So, as of now, I do not agree to anything yet. I'm waiting for him to come back to me in the sense of see if he misses me. At the same time, can't wait to talk to his dad, see how he's feeling. Hoping his mom can de-stress from everything because this took a toll on her too. And also the running gag, I'm not being blamed for the country leaving the EU. I am not blamed for the pound dropping. I am not blamed for the hailstorm at his friend's wedding. I am not blamed for him not wanting to be attached to me because of outside influences. I'm not being blamed for anything that he would try to It's just that things happened. Wouldn't trade them for anything. But I do, like I said, he gives everybody else a fair shot. Give me a fair shot. Don't sit in a chair. Don't do what you were doing. The times that we were together, I felt it. I felt the love. I felt everything. But then it was like a switch, and I was left alone on my trip. And then when he saw me pissed off, he felt guilty. Yeah. I don't know when I will be able to get to come again. I would love to come by my birthday this year. I would love to come for Christmas. I would love to go like once a week there or something, or twice a year. But I don't have that capability yet. Please, if this really turned into a big blowout, I was going to ask his dad for a payment plan on how to pay back the trip. All I know now is I'm writing a book about it. Everyone told me to. But here's the thing. I came home on the 9th of July, left on the 20th of June. Those days are all written down and will be elaborated on. But how do I put there's no final chapter to this because nothing has been written yet. He doesn't want to be just a chapter in the book, and that's up to him. I want him a chapter in my life. But this book being written was because this is the first time ever I did something on my own without anyone telling me that while I was there that I was doing, it was an adventure that I would never change, but it won't have an ending. It'll just have a what if. And you'd have to wait until an abridged version or another version gets printed to find out, was the trip a trip for an adventure? Was the trip a trip for love? Was the trip a trip for friendship? Was it a combo of everything? Was it an adventure of finding self-worth, finding your home? Who knows? But as of now, my notes are there. When I'm strong enough to basically, how do I put it, write it, because I have a full work week and I'm covering for somebody else. Maybe after this month is almost, because it's going to be almost over, July's almost over, then it's his birthday, which we'll see about a birthday card for him. Let's see what happens. But my birthday's in November. I said that to him. I said, you couldn't even send me a birthday card. I mean, I feel sorry that I laid into him, but I had to lay into him. And I apologize for one thing, though, that I didn't state what I wanted to state in the beginning. That I didn't push hard enough. But at the same time, why should I have to? He hid out in his room. He hid out in the chair. Yes, he did hurt me in some sense because he made me feel alone on the trip while he was there. But there are other influences that a lot of I'm not going to mention here. And that's why it sounds like an open-ended thing and he's more at fault, where he really isn't. So, if any of you want to find out, you can private message me, the ones who know the situation that's going on. But right now, I had fun on my trip. I would love to do it again. And everyone who wants to comment on here, pick and choose your words carefully, because some of you like to think you know everything, and I'll be honest with you, you don't know the whole story. This is just a snippet and my perception of what happened to let you guys know that I'm not going to commit suicide. I am not going crazy because of what he said. I am just one person who's upset because I found a place I belong, and I'm at a crossroad where, what do I do? Meaning, I'm not moving there for him. That would be a bonus, like my dad said. Because my next video, I will read what I wrote on Facebook, because I wanted to go into more detail about what people perceive love, romance, physical, mental about. Because a lot of times people think what they see on TV and movies is what that, right? If you don't have the experiences, or limited like mine are and his, you mess up a lot. And I will say this. Everyone thinks that I should just ditch him and dump him, but no. That's not me. I'm giving him a fair chance in the sense of make the decision right this time. I was there. You got to touch me. Make it right this time. Don't make it before I got there like you did. That's what pissed me off. So, looks like this video is going to be an hour. And hopefully YouTube lets it on. But if it doesn't, I may make something else and save this for another thing. But right now, I miss him. I love him. I care about him. I miss his family. And I miss all his friends and the new friends that we met. People said I didn't look like a tourist, nor did I act like one. I fit in there. So Dad said to me, have a plan, do something, because if I really want to be there, it means I can't take my apartment with me. I mean, I love New York, but New York is getting to the point where, does New York love me? You know? Who knows? He comes here if he does decide to come here for 3 months or whatever, even if it's a month, what if New York grows on him? Many answers, many questions, many whatever. So, guys, tune in to the same channel. You can badmouth me all you want. You could do whatever. But as of now, unless you know the whole story, and I'm not going to say anything until he wants to do a video with me, which that was he was supposed to do, besides the cat one. we'll figure it out. We'll even go live if we have to. All right? So bye, guys.